Bonjour, everyone. It is Sue with Sue is Retiring to France on a Shoestring. And today was kind of a rough day. So I'll just kind of tell you a little bit about what happened for most of the day. And then I'm going to leave you with a video tour of my tiny little house here in Castle Naudry. So I spent probably 6 to 7 hours today trying to find a short-term rental car from one of the grocery stores, which I have mentioned before is a real thing here and it's really inexpensive. However, even though I did find several options when I was looking earlier in the spring, there is almost nothing to be had right now until probably around the 1st of July for most places. In my town, the only thing that is available is a 10-person van, and that's not even available until the week of June 24th. And there's almost nothing available in August. I mean, there's just nothing available because it's summertime. And I wish I had kind of thought that through a little bit more, but also I wasn't willing to pull the trigger and pay for a rental car before I had my visa approved. So timing is everything, and timing was not really on my side with this one. In a way, I'm glad that I didn't dig into this last week because it would have just been one more thing of big stress. And today I had the time and the energy to actually deal with it. So instead of doing that, I am going to be renting a car from the Toulouse airport. I got a fairly good deal. Not as great as the supermarket ones, but better than some other options that are out there. And interestingly enough, I'll be renting the same version of electric rent car that I got back in February. It was the best deal out there. So go figure. Somehow I'm just meant to drive electric cars now, I guess. And that's okay with me too. So Thursday will be a cluster of getting up early and then getting into Toulouse on the train, which hopefully will not be too much of a problem, and then taking a bus or an Uber is more likely from the train station to the airport and then driving that home. Because the transportation strikes are due to start again on the 5th, which is the day, 2 days from now, that I am going to be going to pick up my rent car. So there are certain transportation options that I just can't even do to get to the airport, like take the bus, because they won't be running from the train station to the airport in support of the strike. So to kind of take my mind off of that, before I gave the dogs dinner, we went for a new walk on a route that I explored last night, trying to figure out some new places to take the dogs and myself to see different parts of town. And it's a fantastic route, and it was great up until about a block and a half away from home when a couple that was coming home from work just drove into their driveway. Obviously, they opened their gate, drove into their driveway. Their dog got out of their yard and came and bit both Obie and Pippi. Did not break skin, but it was a struggle for the guy, the girl, and myself to basically get the dogs apart from each other. As you can imagine, I'm traumatized. Obie is very traumatized. Pippi is not being a good girl. She's kind of instigated some of it, and so I'm really unhappy with her right now. She just is sitting here grinning at me, and that's not the appropriate response, Pippi. Thank goodness that I had some leftover trazodone, so that's what Obie is on right now. Didn't have any of the cute little pill pockets to put him in, so basically I cut off a slab of butter and shoved it into that, and then he was able to, eat the trazodone. Comical, but got the job done. And that's it. So today was kind of like the letdown, the roller coaster. It will go up, it'll go down, it'll go up, it'll go down. So most of the day was great. I was able to at least find a reasonable solution to being able to have a car because it truly is necessary in this little town. Sorry, had to stop the recording for a moment because both dogs decided that they needed to start barking at somebody that was just walking by on the street outside. So yeah, today was one of those days. But to leave you all on a much more positive note, I did do a video of the interior of this cute little house, and I will end with that today, and I wish you all a bonjour, a bonsoir. Hope you're taking care of yourself. I'll see you again soon, and au revoir. Hello, everybody. Here is the house tour after 48 hours of being on site. So I will merge this with a picture of the outside, but when I come inside, I got a tension rod and a shower curtain from IKEA to put across the door. It has a frosted window. Let's see if we can see that. But during the heat of the day, especially right now, because we've got kind of a heat wave, this really is kind of helping mute the heat and also keep the light. This is kind of a utility closet area, and as you can see, one of my shopping bags has a perfect hangout space right at the top. So after coming in to the right, I hung some 3M hooks for my keys and the dog leashes. You'll see the windows from the outside. These open up, and there is a space for my gardening adventure, which you will also see on the other side of it. So as we move around, okay, we've got the living room kind of area, and this is a futon bed slash couch. It is a really comfy couch. When I originally saw the pictures of it in Airbnb, it looked like it was just going to be a nightmare of discomfort, but it's incredibly comfortable. And in a second, you'll see the dogs that are sacked out on the ground because it is hot right now. It's the middle of the day. There is one of the fans that I purchased, and right behind it is a little table lamp that I also purchased to give a little bit more ambient light. I have the ceiling lights on right now, and they're very bright LED, and ADHD people don't do overhead lights. We don't do the big lights. If I have to turn them on, I will, but getting this tiny little lamp was a godsend. If the dogs are not sacked out on the couch, this is pretty much where they are. And we'll go back into the kitchen and take a picture from the other view. But there's the stairs that go obviously upstairs. There's a really cool beam that's probably hundreds of years old that spans the width of the house, which I want to say is probably about 14 feet, maybe a little bit more than that. And then over here is the entertainment area slash desk area. Pippi also likes hanging out under this table. There is my planter right in front of the TV unit that I am going to be filling later today. I already went to the Gamme Vert, which is the gardening store. It is Sunday about 12:30 right now, so everything is closed as of now. Only a few places were open this morning, and that was Gamme Vert, the grocery store, Intermarché, or Leclerc. That's pretty much it, I think. I didn't see anything else open, possibly some restaurants. So we'll move a little bit further. I did buy this little rug to put in front of the major kitchen area. Obviously, here is my utilities, my washing machine, my microwave, and my refrigerator, which does not have a freezer compartment, and that's okay. And then dog area, and then 2-burner stove. You can see all the ingredients. Later today, I am going to be making ratatouille from scratch, which I haven't done in a very, very long time. So that'll be fantastic. Sink area, all sorts of storage down here. Oops, didn't shut that one. Hot water heater, and then under the stairs, I put one of the extra chairs, and I just put the dish drainer on that, and then there's the garbage can. There's my laundry basket that I purchased for dirty laundry, which I will be doing later today, and then there's the dog food container, which I also purchased. So then if you turn around, you can kind of see what this looks like. So it's probably from the front door to where I am standing up against the counter, I want to say about 18 feet. So with the counter, it's probably about 20 feet long. And although the ceilings are perfectly high here, they're fairly low compared to what you will see upstairs. So we'll go ahead and we'll walk up the stairs. And at the top of the stairs, there is another curtained off area with all sorts of utility shelves for cleaning supplies, all sorts of things. Then first off is the bathroom. And I did go ahead and I purchased this 4-shelf unit from IKEA. Pretty good shower, fantastic pressure. After living in an RV for 8.5 years, having fantastic and hot water pressure is gold. And then just the towel heater, fairly standard in Europe. Door, which is not going to stay closed ever probably. And then I think it's kind of cool how they made this divider, which perhaps was here originally, of open-ended bricks, but it also makes a really good place to dry towels and other things. And there's leftover 3M command strips that I didn't put away. And then here is the bedroom, another tower fan that I purchased. This etagere shelving unit was here. All of it was here, actually. But I did purchase a couple of these guys from IKEA. And I'll probably purchase some different ones for a deeper fill up on the top. Here are the extra linens. And so I'm probably going to put those in something much bigger and deeper and put that on the top. Right now I have just some junky stuff of mine up on the top. And I haven't completely unpacked. There's a pair of my shoes in a plastic bag. There's my suitcase, which is still 100% filled. My little closet area. Again, more linens. That is the owner's hat. And then really fantastic windows that right now have the shutters closed because, again, it's really hot outside. Another surprise. I thought this low one mattress bed was going to be just a nightmare. It's one of the most comfortable beds I have ever slept on. It's actually more comfortable than the mattress that I just left in the RV. And that is saying something because I absolutely adored that mattress. Okay, and then coming over this side, there's one of the dog beds that I purchased. There's the other dog bed that I purchased. Heading out to the hallway, we'll take a look at that tile. It's pretty awesome. But here, the ceilings are really high. These are probably 12-foot ceilings. And door, which again will probably stay open. In fact, what I have done is my laundry basket is downstairs right now, but it fits perfectly behind this door and is not seeable. Obi decided to come visit. But look at this awesome tile that is original. I think it's fantastic. Oops, trying to get the glare of the, let's see if I can take that off. Yeah, it's not as good, but you can kind of see it over here. So I'm going to go ahead, and that's pretty much it for what it looks like right now. And I will take pictures of the outside as soon as I get the plants that I purchased planted in the planter and watered.